Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here today as kind of a part 1, part 2 series that I did. You'll notice the next video down on my channel is actually a 1-hour video where I do a full face of drugstore products, and I kind of wanted to split this up because I knew that that one was going to be super long, and let's face it, who wants to watch that long of a video? Nobody. So I decided to kind of split it up for people that they wanted to maybe buy drugstore products, they wanted to see how they went on, maybe how to put them all on, that kind of thing. I did that video very specifically targeted for that kind of people, you know, that group of people. Quite frankly, the type of person that I was not too long ago, the kind of person that like had no idea what to buy or what to do with it. That's kind of that video. Takes you through step by step where to put it and how to put it, that kind of thing, what products I used and the prices. This video I wanted to focus a little bit more on what products I used, did I like them, what I liked, what I didn't like after I wore them for a while. I've worn these all a few times now and I kind of have a better feel for them. Right out of the gate, I apologize, I look a little bit washed out more than usual. I've actually worked all day. This is at night that I'm filming this, so my makeup is all just like it's wearing the day. My face wears the day very poorly, so I apologize for that. But we are going to kind of jump right into this. I'll do my best to kind of do them in order, but they're just scattered all over my vanity right now, so we're just gonna dive right in. Okay, first up we are going to start with the NYX Shine Killer primer that I used. I have tried it, like I said, I've tried these all a couple of times, and I feel like this does actually a pretty good job. I have really oily skin, like probably more oily than what they would consider oily. I actually have a hormonal brain tumor that makes I go through so many different hormonal ups and downs that puberty, you know, acne and oil and that kind of thing are just on my face all the time. So this actually did a pretty good job. I would say if I had to rate it, like 10 being the best I've ever tried and you know, 0 being not even having a primer, this would probably fall like right in the like solid 6 or 7 range, which for the price isn't bad. I did notice that I used it and it got a little cakey on my face in certain areas that I'm not used to having cakey on. So I'm thinking maybe when you use it, just be very sparse with it. I did notice, and like I show in the other video, it comes out a lot all at once, and it's a lot thinner than what you would probably anticipate. So just be mindful as you pour it out, you know, take a little, put it on, take a little, put it on, and not kind of let it all surge out at once, because it's like, whoa Nelly. And don't be afraid, especially for the price point, if too much comes out, don't be afraid to just not use it, because just wipe it off and go on your way, because I'm not a fan of wasting product, but like if you put on too much, it's gonna look absolutely dreadful. But overall, not bad, and I would recommend this one for oily skin. Okay, next up we are going to go in with the Maybelline Dream Cushion, and again I went in using porcelain. What I did like about this, I feel like this would be really good for people who have normal to dry maybe skin, maybe slight oil or combination, but not quite as oily as my face, and here's why. I did feel like when I put it on, like it really settled initially well on my skin, which is pretty common for any foundation that I put on that starts out really good and then ends really, really bad, because it's like my oil just annihilates it. It's like it didn't stand a chance. And I was kind of shocked because I read a lot of reviews for people with oily skin that said it worked really well for them. So what I'm thinking is maybe like moderate oily skin would be good for this one. A couple of things to note. I did try using this both with the actual, it comes with this little applicator, and I tried using it with this as well as just with like an actual beauty blender, and I feel like the beauty blender application went a little smoother on my skin. I felt like it really pressed in the pigment into my skin, versus this applicator, I feel like I couldn't really sink it in and make it sit nicely. So I did get a better application with the beauty blender. But overall, the longevity on it, again, for someone with less oily skin or dry combination, like down the spectrum that way, I think that this would actually be a really good product. I felt like the color was really good. The color was very true. As you can tell, I'm super pasty, and the coloring on this was pretty good. It didn't hardly oxidize at all, which is like one of my top 3 requirements for a foundation, is that they don't oxidize, because on my skin when stuff oxidizes, it gives me like that line down here where like I blend it onto my neck and then that line oxidizes and it looks like the skin was replaced with someone else's skin. It looks awful. So overall, I would recommend it, just maybe not to like the super oily end girls. And I'm actually going to say the same thing for the Age Rewind concealer, also by Maybelline. This was actually a really great product. It went on really nicely onto the skin. I feel like I did, like if I had not blended it out with a beauty blender, it would have been very streaky. And they give, like, the tip of it is this very felt kind of tip where they want you to basically twist it out, the product comes out, and then you're just supposed to tap it on. When you blend it out with a beauty blender, I think that's when you really see how pretty and like nice the coverage is. I would not, in my opinion, I would not say that this is a full coverage. I would place it like medium to light coverage. I did have to do 2 coats under my eyes, and my dark circles aren't that bad. So something to consider. This also did crease for me, which was kind of a shocker because I've used a ton and my eyes do crease, but normally when I set them and all that, they don't. So this did crease, but overall, like this one, I don't know if I can recommend. Maybe if you're trying to cover like blemishes or circles that aren't so strong, or maybe, you know, if your eyes aren't prone to creasing, then maybe this would be good for you. But for me, this one, it didn't really work out. Next up, I am going to go with the Essence. This was their mattifying powder. I believe, yeah, it was $3.99, which at first I was like, wow, that's really good. And one of the problems that I really had every time that I used like a couple of these makeups in tandem, I had, or a couple of these products, I should say, one of the problems I kept having is that I kept being told that I looked dusty, that I looked like, you know how when you spray like a setting spray or something on your face, it kind of settles everything down and it's supposed to meld it together, make it look more like your skin. And this was, I think this is the culprit. This was making me look dusty, like someone had just taken it and just patted it and just all over my face with like a big just ball, like flour. Just someone had just dusted my face with flour. It looked that kind of dusty on my face. Very unflattering, and I sprayed it several times with setting spray, or, you know, with various different things, and I just could not get this to really meld in with anything that I put on my face. So unfortunately, the Essence Matte, I am actually not going to be able to recommend, and that bummed me right out because I really wanted to love this. At first application, I felt like it went on really well, and then as the time went on, I couldn't vouch for it anymore. So unfortunately, this one, I'm gonna have to say that's a big no for me. And that kind of sucked because I wanted to love it. Next up, we are going to talk about the Bronze Booster by Physicians Formula. It comes in this little trio here. And then in the back, we're just gonna pretend I'd already had this in there. In the back, you find this brush. They keep it nicely back here. And this is kind of what the brush looks like, you know, nice, decent little brush. Honestly, I noticed that I loved this the most for going in and really cutting out the contour and then taking that same contour up into the hairlines. I felt like it did a really nice job with that. Maybe taking the light bronzer and kind of, you know, contouring the nose out a little bit as well. Both were super helpful. What I will say is that the one thing I did not like about this, I felt like neither of these 2 colors in here, and as you can tell, I mean, they're pretty different in as far as browns go, and I felt like neither of those were very complimenting for all different skin tones. I mean, I was able to make them work. I just had to blend them out with the blush and, you know, do a lot of different technique to make them work. But all I kept thinking was, what, I mean, there's no way that these are good for many skin tones. So definitely something to keep in mind. Purchase them at a place maybe like Ulta, where you can get them home, try them on your skin tone, and if they don't work, you can still return them, because I know if you buy them in a drugstore, I don't think you can return them. So something to consider there. The lighter highlight shade on top here, I noticed, and again, I mentioned this in the video, but when I applied it, you know, to where I would normally put highlighter, I feel like it matched my skin tone. I mean, I could have been putting on like a foundation, you know, a powdery foundation. It was like that kind of color. It didn't do anything. It just basically served to lighten what I already had on the area of face. It didn't add any kind of like a luminescent quality. It didn't add anything, I don't think, to my face. So, I hate to say this because this is probably the one, like out of 2 items I was super jazzed to try, and I honestly can't say that I was super impressed with it. Like, I love the packaging, I love the sleek of it, I love that they put them all in here and the price point, all that, but I cannot recommend this one. However, if you have a skin coloring that is maybe a little richer than mine, or maybe has different undertones, it might work really, really well for you. So I would just say that for me personally, this does not do what I wanted it to do. And what's unfortunate is that it's the same, unfortunately, again, I can't say that enough because I was so excited when I picked out all these products. I mean, so excited. And I'm gonna have to say the same thing for the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer that I picked up in Golden Days. Such a pretty color. I didn't hate it, but what I felt more than anything when I put it on my skin was I felt like it made my skin look dirty. I felt like the color wasn't enough to look like, oh, you know, give my skin that warmth that I was looking for, but it was just enough to be like, did she shower? You know, I felt like that was kind of the vibe. That's a little extreme, but I felt like that was kind of the vibe I was getting from it. So unfortunately, and it might just be the shade I picked up. They have 3 different shades, I think, of this one. Makeup Revolution does. But unfortunately for me, I was not a big fan of their bronzer. However, when it came down to the Makeup Revolution Strobe Highlighter, which I bought 2 of these, and I can't for the life of me, I think I kicked the other one under the bed, I don't know where it went, but I did pick up 2 of these. One is in Holographic Lights, which is this one, and then I picked up another one that was more just like a subtle white, as I don't know why I keep looking for it, like I'm gonna see it, but I did have another one. I just, like I said, don't know what I did with it. Anyways, I did actually really enjoy these highlights. I felt like they were both very true to what you expected. Like, I just literally dabbed this in here, swiped it on my hand, and like, you get the most beautiful, which I know it's kind of hard to, there you go. You do get just a really beautiful, strong highlight right out of the gate. And like, I swatched it and everything, and there's still some on my finger. Like, it's just a very nice color. Very intense though. You know, it's something like maybe if I was going out, I would use this upper cheekbones, inner eye highlight, and it would just be golden. Lasted really, really well. I was actually super impressed with this one. So their highlights, both of them, I've tried both a couple times, and I really loved those. I think I would recommend their highlights for sure. So you could definitely tell it was like, wow, pop and highlight. Awesome. So I would recommend their highlights. Again, that was the Makeup Revolution Strobe Highlighter. Definitely recommend. Wow. Moving on, I kind of want to talk about these sprays. Now, I know that I mentioned that I had the Makeup Revolution set. They were the Pro Fix and the Pro Base set. One obviously is for the base. You know, when your face is clean, you've just moisturized and everything before you put your makeup on, you're supposed to give a spritz of this, and I think it's just supposed to kind of like, you know, give your face that one last breath of fresh air, if you will, before you start piling on the makeup. And then the Pro Fix is obviously the fixing spray for when you're all done. It's supposed to help control the oil for a long-lasting, nice makeup face. These, if I'm gonna rate them similar to how I rated the original NYX product, I'd have to give them, like, when I use them independently of each other, I was not impressed. When I use them together, I'd give them like an extra point. So I'd say they're like a 5 individually, maybe no, that's too good. I'd say they're about a 4 individually and a 5 together. This NYX Matte Finish Primer right here, this stuff is the real deal. I was so impressed. I feel like I put this on my face and I felt like it kept me matte for quite a while. Like I'd say a solid 6 or like 5 to 6 hours, which for me is super, super good. I know that it doesn't sound like much. People are like, you know, you should stay matte for, 12 hours or 8 hours, at least a work day. And I have been known to be oily like literally 2 hours into my workday. So for me, I would have to, like, if I had to pick one to recommend, I would not recommend these. And again, these were $8 and $10, and I think this little guy was, I don't even know how much he was. He was a couple bucks. I can't remember, but I would have to go with him all day over the Makeup Revolution, because I feel like the NYX one actually did what it was supposed to do. And it was, when I purchased this, I was told that it was a good dupe for the Urban Decay setting spray that they do for oil control, and I'm inclined to agree. I would actually consider this a very nice drugstore dupe for that. It was fantastic. But again, the Makeup Revolution ones, I cannot recommend. They didn't do it for me. They weren't strong enough for my oil. Mascara, my Maybelline, I believe Maybelline, right? Yeah, Maybelline. This is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the application. I enjoyed the look that I got. I enjoyed all of it. I feel like these bristles, and I'm going to see if you can actually get a good look at them. They are far enough apart that they evenly coat your lashes and lift them up at the same time, but they're close enough together that you're also able to kind of get the definition and the length out of it that you're looking for. It's always hard for me to like describe mascara because I've said it a million times. I feel like they are so individual to each person, but I can honestly say that this Full and Soft Mascara by Maybelline it's probably been one of the top, I'd say 5 mascaras that I've tried since I've been doing makeup, and I have tried easily over 20, and this would be like within my top 5, I think. I just loved the way it was a very fresh look, a very spring look, and a very natural look. Now if you're going for like that, I don't want to say clumpy look, but that very volume-esque, like not gummy, but when they look really full at the root and that, this is not going to be what you're looking for. This is going to be what really individualizes your lashes and pulls them up. Okay, now for the last portion of this here, I'm going to go in with lips, and I don't know if I mentioned it in the video or not. I picked up 2 different lippies from the drugstore side. I picked up the NYX Lingerie in the color French Maid, which is, there you go, this color right here. It's a matte liquid lipstick. And then I also ended up with the Makeup Revolution Lip Euphoria in the color Fortune, I believe is what it's called. And I couldn't find any that were an exact match, but I definitely wanted something like in this family, you know, that purple mauve-y kind of family. Obviously the Lip Euphoria is a darker color. What I thought was interesting is that the Lip Euphoria, I didn't read the package. It was not a matte liquid lipstick. It is just like a regular, regular liquid lipstick. And not a fan. I felt like when I put it on, if it doesn't say it's going to dry down and be matte, I can't expect it to. But when it comes to lipstick, I do kind of expect them to not be tacky. Every time I talk, I could feel it going, and I hate that. It drives me insane. And I definitely got that feeling from him. And the color was really nice. It wasn't patchy or anything like that, but the feeling on my lips was absolutely irritating, and it was $5. So him, I would not recommend. I did not enjoy it. It might have just been me. I don't know. Maybe just my lips that day. I have tried lots that do not dry down, and I can still love them. I love lots of regular lipsticks, but this one, I did not care for it. Too sticky, too gummy, not a fan. However, the NYX liquid lipstick that does dry down and matte pretty well, I noticed that it gets pretty kiss-proof. I was actually impressed. I swatched it on my hand. I ran over top of it a couple times after it dried. Did a really, really nice job. It's staying right where I put it. When I put it on my lips, I did notice that it wears off a lot quicker than I had anticipated that it would, especially considering how long it stayed on my hand. Again, that might have just been me, my lips. Overall, great liquid lipstick. I've worn it probably 4 or 5 times since I've gotten it, and I really do like it. I love the formula. It's very nice and soft, and it does not give any kind of a tacky. It dries really quickly, I would say. I would caution on doing 2 coats in any area, because I feel like that area tends to get gummed up, and not where you feel that, but where you can feel it kind of chunk up on your lips, if that makes any sense. So overall though, I would definitely recommend the NYX line for their matte liquid lipsticks. These are fantastic. I love them, and I now know what the hype is all about, but the Makeup Revolution Lip Euphorias, not a fan. I cannot in good conscience recommend those. Hey everybody, that is everything I believe that I wore in that hour-long guide that I'm about to post. And again, I just want to reiterate that I don't post that so much as a standalone video, but as a way for you guys to kind of come over here, see the products in a shorter, more condensed video, what I bought, what I thought kind of thing, and then you can go over there if you want to see the application, watch that portion of the video. You can kind of skip around and see what portion you're looking for. I thought that would be the best way to do it, because it was either that or you were going to be stuck with a video that was like an hour and a half long versus one that's an hour long. So this way you can kind of get the concise, nugget size version of what you're looking for, which is what I like when I go for a video. So if you guys ever have any questions or anything, don't hesitate, comment below, let me know what you think. Maybe if you had a different experience with a product or something, or you think something you know of would be good for my skin, that would be awesome. I will say stay on the lookout for more videos from me. I've got a ton of different like concepts and stuff rolling around in this crazy head of mine, so there will be lots of videos to come. I'm super excited about that. Any new people that are here, by the way, welcome. I don't think that I said that. I'm Paige and this is Seeking Alexandria, and normally this part goes at the beginning of the video, but whatever. I'm filming at night. Things are crazy here. So like, comment, subscribe, bell icon. I don't know what else YouTubers say in their video, but do all that. And have a lovely evening, day, or whatever you watch this. And I will talk to you guys later. Gotta get them all ready. Gotta get all my stuff. Gotta get all my stuff. Gotta line it all up. Oh. It's gonna be hard to talk about it once I break it. I dropped it all on my desk.